happens when you come to a place when you feel your life is coming to an end. This was Judith's story when she was diagnosed with lupus. In her mind, that diagnosis meant death. You're about to hear her inspiring story from her moment of diagnosis when she thought her life was coming to an end, to a lady today who is full of life, vibrant, and looking forward to a long and healthy future. She changed her lifestyle habits. You're about to hear how those changes helped her to control her lupus. If you're suffering from lupus, if you're concerned about lupus, if you have a family member that is suffering from lupus, you need to hear this inspiring story in the series of Lean Mind Body stories. Hi Judith.
Hi.
Really appreciate you taking the time out to come and share your story with us. You mentioned that you were suffering from something called lupus. Could you just give me an idea what lupus is?
Okay, to the best of my knowledge and terminologies given to me, I would say lupus is a disease or dis-ease of the autoimmune system. So basically my immune system is very weak and becomes very compromised.
So an autoimmune system is where the cells attack.
Absolutely. So my antibodies in my body, my antibodies are creating too much. Therefore, it is then causing the inflammatory system in my body to fight the antibodies. And so I get muscle pains, rashes, fevers, headaches. I've often been told, you've got cancer, but it's not. It's just the lupus affecting certain cells in my body, etc.
How long have you had it?
Right. I would say I've honestly had it for about 20 years, but a diagnosis only since 2003.
So what were the warning signs?
Oh my goodness. I could sleep for England. Literally. I remember coming home from work one day and pretty much I went to bed and I woke up in the hospital.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't remember anything else.
So who found you?
Well, obviously my daughter called 999 and yeah.
That must have been so frightening for them to...
Yeah, because they were young, pretty young at the time.
And a wake-up call for you. So,
absolutely.
So what happened next?
Right, so after that, I insisted something needs to be found out, something needs to be done. I can't consistently keep trying this, let's say paracetamol, this ibuprofen, this, that. We need to test my blood, test whatever we needed to do to find out. By then, I was having issues with my scalp. So as you can see, I'm bald. I'll show you if you don't mind. So I've got these little lesions or spots where some people might say alopecia, but it's not. It's associated with the lupus. It just creates that. There's no way the hair's going to grow back there. It's just part of the process. Nobody can explain to me why, but it's just one of them symptoms. So I just take it off. That's my liberating way.
Did that start to happen before you realised what the diagnosis was?
That actually happened. Yes, it did actually. You just got me thinking, definitely, before I got the proper diagnosis of, yes, this is lupus. A lot of things were happening. I used to chemically process my hair back then. So I used to think it was a case of, I burnt my scalp, but it wasn't. It was obviously my body's way of saying, there's something going on. Try and find out what's going on.
So what was the tipping point where you decided, look, I really have to find out exactly what this was?
Joint pains, like an old grandma joint pains. Arthritic, you name it, like my joints were swollen. I couldn't walk, I couldn't run, I couldn't do anything. I'm on crutches, I'm in a wheelchair. I mean, yeah, I've been through the whole gamut of anything until they finally said it is lupus.
Okay, so at that moment when they diagnosed you as having lupus, was you aware what lupus was?
Yes. Because as soon as I found out, I saw my auntie and she died. So I was like, that's it. My life is over.
So you thought that, did you think it was a death sentence?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much, but yeah, I kind of changed from that belief.
So you had the diagnosis, you left...
2003, I'd say.
2003, you left surgery or the hospital. What was the first thought on your mind about what you had to do personally?
I wasn't on that page yet. That took a few more years to get to that stage. I was more on the page, okay, medically, what do we do? What do you suggest, doctor? You give me the tablets, I'll take it. That's where I thought my healing would come from, the medical profession.
So for the following 2 years after your diagnosis, it was strictly
what they said.
What they said, the medicines and how did the treatment they were giving, how did that affect you?
Oh my gosh. I know they say it affects people differently, but for how I felt, depression was the biggest thing. I was so depressed. Because you just see it as a death sentence, especially if you know it's in your family and you know what's happened to somebody in your family and they've already died. You're not seeing the bigger picture that I can live with this condition or I can better this condition. So I just saw death, so I didn't care. I just did every and anything possible out there just to, I didn't really care what was going on in life. Pretty much.
So you went into a deep state, what would you say,
Downwards.
clinical depression?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because all I saw was death.
And you just thought, well, just whatever I have to do for the rest of my little bit of life, I'm going to do.
Yeah. So I pretty much just went out there and just had fun and partied.
So how did that affect your family and your personal relationships around you?
Family took it pretty bad because they know, same as I knew somebody died, they know the same thing as well. So they were very, protective. Yeah, very protective, and just to make sure that I am okay in this little bubble kind of thing. Yeah. And trying to come up with ways, healthy ways, eat this, do this. But at that time, my mindset wasn't towards self-empowerment. No, definitely not.
And the people around you who didn't know you had lupus,
yeah,
they must have been wondering where this change in behavior came from.
Who's this girl? That's not this girl. Yeah, it was a bit like that.
And
I didn't want to tell too many people.
Okay, and obviously having children, that must have been difficult as well.
Yep. Are you going to be here to raise them? Buy their first prom dress, do this, do that, help them get married. The questions, they're all there. What do you do?
Okay.
Yeah, what do you do?
So you went for 2 years through this, what you would describe as this mad,
absolutely
crazy phase.
Pretty much.
And then you came to a point where you said enough was enough. What was that point? What was that juncture in your life where you decided, look, I need to do something personally and take control?
Honestly, when you realise you're taking something like 15 to 20 tablets a day, it's just taking this one for this and this one for that and that one for this and that. And I just screamed in my doctor's surgery and said, I am not a guinea pig anymore. I can't do this. I'm stopping these tablets. Obviously, no, you cannot do this. I can, and I will. I have the power, I believe, and that's all I'm going to do.
Before we get on to what you did at that point, if I remember rightly, there are different forms of lupus. What form of lupus did you have?
Okay, so we have 2 forms of lupus. We have discoid lupus, which affects mainly your skin, and you have systemic lupus, and that affects your skin and also your internal organs, mainly the heart, the kidney, your brain cells, that kind of thing. For me, they diagnosed me with discoid lupus, which affected my skin, but I had symptoms of systemic lupus. They might not have been as full-blown as in their medical terms and numbers that they use, but I still had, symptoms of systemic lupus. But my diagnosis was for discoid, which means, rashes, as I said, I showed you before, my scalp, lesions and things like that. Yeah, anything to do with my skin, it was, not good. But internally, I was suffering. Joint pains, muscle pains, can't move, can't walk. And if I'm walking on the road, I'll fall, I'll collapse. That's just all part of it. So I used to say, you can't just say I have discoid lupus, because I'm also showing symptoms of systemic, the muscles, etc. So that's my experience, basically.
So 2 years on, you decide that you're going to take control. What steps did you take?
Honestly, for me, and I don't know if some people are going to believe this, I had to, because over the years, gone away from God, my belief system, spirituality, whatever you want to call it. We all believe in something. And I believe there is a higher power and there's a higher being, and we're all here to serve a purpose. So I had to then go back to younger days, start read the Bible again, start to find my belief and power system, and it started to uplift me and empower me. And I realized I could do a lot more by just forgiving myself for having this illness. No, it's not my fault. It's something I have. It's a condition. Okay. Some people say disease. I now say dis-ease. My body is at a dis-ease with what is going on inside. So I had to reconcile myself and forgive myself for a lot of stuff. Forgiveness is the key to everything. Forgive everybody for everything. You just don't care. Life is good. Life is great. You just get on with it. And for that, I found myself, oh my gosh, it was like I was walking on air. The world is a wonderful place again and stuff like that. And I noticed I didn't have any joint pains. I didn't have, this kind of burning in my head anymore, and all those sort of crazy feelings that you get, like your body's on fire, you're just burning up from the inside out. But so I had to find my belief system, stop the medication. That's what helped me for one as well. Change my diet as well, because that is key to everything. Just eat healthily. Eat healthily, and I cut out a lot of meat. Pretty much.
A question I have to ask, you mentioned forgiveness twice.
No.
So you believe that forgiveness played a part, and I suppose it would come from two fronts. One, you mentioned forgiving yourself for getting the disease or the condition, and forgiving yourself for your possible actions afterwards. Am I correct in saying that?
Absolutely, yeah. Forgiveness, to me, it's key to everything. Everything. Forgive your mother, forgive your father, your brother, your sister, your cousin who took your Barbie dolly when you was younger. Just forgive everybody of everything. I know it might sound stupid, but believe me, forgiveness is the key. Well, for me, and what I've noticed that I'm going through, and talking to other women who are suffering with it, because it's mainly tends to be women that this lupus affects. There's 1 or 2 men, don't get me wrong, but the majority are women. And speaking to everybody, it's the same thing. They like, the ones who are on a healing path, they had to forgive. They just had to forgive everybody, everything. Forgive yourself for the mistakes you made. You can only make choices with what's put in front of you. Do you know what I mean? So as a child, certain things happen, and it's done to you and against you. Do you know what? It's gone.
So just as a quick note, lupus is a condition that affects mainly women.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm not saying there aren't 1 or 2 men out there who have it, but the majority of known documented cases, it mainly affects women. And women of colour.
Okay, so spirituality, forgiveness and spirituality form the foundation of the base that you use to start to gain the strength to kind of change your life.
Yeah.
So great, you went back to church, found your faith. You mentioned healthy habits.
Yes.
How did you change your lifestyle around your eating and everything else?
Because by this stage, I mean, medication wise and stuff like that, I had gone up to We'll use dress sizes. I'd gone up to about a size 16 to 18 dress size. So it's quite heavy set woman. As you can see, I'm not right now. But that was a lot to do with medication as well, because they give you steroids, they give you all these different things for different conditions, because they don't know what they're doing, but it's just trial and error. So what worked in the past, yeah, it worked for that lupus patient, so we'll give it to this lupus patient. So when I finally just sat back, researched, read everything, side effects, I was like, no, I can't do this medication. I said, Lord, you're just going to help me to drink the greens, eat the greens. Just everything for me is just greens. Pretty much greens and fish. Well, you can't cut out the chicken, so yeah. Bit of chicken every now and then, but pretty much my diet, I cut out the carbs, you name it, I don't play. Unless it's whole grain. Yeah, I just don't do bread, I don't do... Okay, anything that's white like that, I just don't do.
So the information that kind of changed it, where did you glean that from? Was it just you go on a personal search?
Yeah, like I made it my personal mission to find out what is good for a person of colour, a person who is suffering from a, as I call it, disease, not a disease, and just research. I don't know if you've heard of people like Queen Afua or Dr. Sebi, and I just read their stuff and I just gleaned bits from it and just tailored it to suit myself, and it pretty much worked, because I feel hand on heart 100% better. 100% better.
What's kind of interesting is the shift that you made. But it wasn't just the lupus that was holding you back. You also suffered from depression.
Yes.
So
big time.
at that point, and it just seems that you say that the spirituality kind of was the basis that brought you out of both those conditions.
Yeah, absolutely. It did. I think it cemented it, I suppose, because before then, I suppose I was walking around in a fog. That's the only way to describe it. Where am I going? What am I doing? Kind of thing. But getting that faith back in believing in something that is bigger or higher than you. I don't care whether, I don't know, Jehovah's Witness is your thing, Catholicism, Judaism, whatever. You just need to find what you believe in and what works for you with how you are at that stage in your life, And for me, I just went back to what I knew, yeah.
So you change your mental state.
Absolutely.
You change your nutrition and your eating habits.
And then came the fitness.
I was about to ask, how did exercise play a part in your treatment?
Yeah, the fitness was the last stage that came into play. I didn't like my body. I didn't like how it looked. I was not comfortable. Then I knew I had to do something about it. I just had to do something. So I actually went and studied a personal training course, and I enjoyed it. And I was like, oh, this could be me. So yeah, it just cemented everything else that had fallen into place. Like, found God again. Mental health is become clear. You're in that good place. Now you have to do something for the physical body. So yeah, pretty much. I don't do the gyms, but I do working outside, outdoors. I get my dumbbells, I get my weights, I can lift as good as anybody else. But yeah, it's just, you have to do something for your physical health. You can't just rely on a pill, the magic pill for everything. You have to put the time in. You have to commit. You get up, you brush your teeth, you got to exercise. It's that same sort of mental thinking.
So exercise became a staple part of your life.
Yeah, pretty much. I exercise every day. I don't have to, but I do something. Even if it's just a little 15 minutes, I'll definitely do something.
And thinking back now to those first 2 years, you must, at that time, you could never have believed you had the mindset you have now.
Yeah, absolutely not. I would not. All I saw was instant death. I'm going to die. I'm not going to live. There's no known cure, because that's all you keep hearing from doctors. It's incurable. Oh, we don't know what's going to happen. Blah, blah. And it's the not knowing. It's the not knowing that kills you inside. That's pretty much it kills you inside.
So the journey that you have been through, is it a journey that you have taken on by yourself, or did you seek support of some close family, friends?
Actually, I pretty much done it myself. Not that I don't have family and friends. That's just how I am. I like to try things for myself first. And then if I can't manage, I'll be like, Mom, Dad, somebody else, come and help me, please. But otherwise, I'll try it by myself.
So before I come back to that point of help of other people, I know you had some challenges during the first 2 years, but after those 2 years to this point now, there must have been some other challenges where you kind of fell back and you maybe thought you couldn't do it. Or was there?
Nothing is ever plain sailing.
What were the challenging moments? Some of the challenging moments.
Never plain sailing. The most challenging for me, when I was trying to detox off the medication from the doctors and transitioning into, the healthier eating and fitness and stuff, the hardest point, because I was like, I believe in the power of positive thinking. It's all up here. But it wasn't working. Because I would get up, one morning, try and put my feet on the floor. I'd literally just collapse. Boom. And it was when my daughter picked me up, my last daughter, she's 8 now. She was about 4. She literally, with a little 4-year-old body, tried to pick me up off the floor. And I was like, no, you can't do this by yourself anymore. You gotta really get some other help to come in and help you, because it's a bit too much to put on to the children. So that's when I started to really think, you know what? You can't do it by yourself. You can't. You need help.
I think that's a good thought in my mind. Often people who are suffering from conditions where they feel uncomfortable, embarrassed about, tell as little as people as possible, because they don't want anyone to know, they don't want people to necessarily feel sorry for them. But looking back retrospectively, I'm sure you might think that, with the support of others, you might have been able to do it a little bit sooner or a little bit easier.
Could have done it a couple of years earlier. Pretty much, yeah. If I just, what would they say? Offered the olive branch out there and somebody accepted it, and yeah. Because you feel nobody's going to understand what I'm going through, because I look fine. Even now I look fine. But I know I have my days that are good and bad. I have to take out the grudges every so often. I still get some of the symptoms, but because of how I think and feel, it's not affecting me as severely as what it was before.
That was my question to you. So from where you was to where you are now, what's the difference?
Huge difference. I've got bags of energy. I never had it before. Lethargic, you name it. Didn't want to do anything. I'd lie in this chair all day. 2 days, 2 weeks, whatever. Now, get up and go. There's things to do. There's places to go, The mental state has changed, because like I used that word before, I've forgiven myself and I've forgiven others. Anything you want to come at me with, that's on you, bro. God bless you. Because I'm just going to keep it moving and be proactive. And that's how I choose to live in the moment and be in this zone. This is me. Positivity. I've got to.
So would you say that you're now managing your lupus or controlling it?
It is 100% controlled, even with the knowledge of the doctors, because they're like, every so often, just for my peace of mind, I go back for checkups. I let them do their blood tests, I let them check everything. And they say to me, whatever you are doing, carry on doing it. And that's what I need to hear, because then I know I'm on the right path. I'm on the right path. Definitely, 100%.
So whatever you're doing, keep on doing that. That's just such great news. But if you had just carried on taking the medication without taking your health into your own hands, you may not have been where you are now.
Absolutely. And I know this 100% hand on heart. I have a dear friend of mine, systemic lupus diagnosis. She's still doing the medication. And when I see her, it just brings tears to my eyes. But her mental state is not ready to take on board what I've done. And you cannot force anybody to do anything. But I just offer the olive branch. I'm here for you. When you're ready, I will guide you with what I've done, you know? So that's all I can do. I'm not medically qualified. I can only speak for what has helped me.
Yeah. You're a testament that lupus can be controlled, managed.
It can be managed.
And improved.
It can. So can.
So in conclusion, someone listening to this interview who has lupus, is concerned about lupus, what is a message you would leave them with?
Honestly, it's just going to sound so simple. Forgive yourself. Forgive others. Reconcile your fact that you have been given this to teach you a lesson. Learn from this lesson. Go forward with it. Become green. I mean, green is the way. Little chicken, but yeah. Just change your lifestyle, your mental state, everything, and you will get to my page. You will. So
you're stressing. I hear you stressing the change in diet is
fundamental. It's key. Absolutely key to everything. Nothing that looks this color. Everything brown, oranges, reds, yellows, greens, fruits and vegetables grown in the earth. Go back to nature.
Can you remind me of the people who you sought advice from, who you looked up and gained information from?
Okay. So for me personally, like I said, my spiritual base, so I went back to reading the Bible and stuff like that. That's something I did by myself, not with any religious affiliations per se. And also the books that truly, truly, truly played a huge part. Queen Afua. Also Dr. Sebi. They're books from people of colour that encourages you, like me, eat green, eat healthily, change what comes into your system, change how you think. I'm trying to think what else helped me. Any sort of self-help books that's going to help you get off the mindset of being in a negative space. It's all about positivity. It's just got to be about positivity.
Just one note, the process you went through, I know we spoke about Dr. Sebi, and it's not unique to people of colour, the process you went through. Anybody who suffered from lupus, I'm guessing, can follow your process, but you just took your ethnicity into consideration in your treatment. Is that correct?
That's what I used as my key to everything. I was like, no, I need to be reading something from a person of colour, and what they would see as a help to me, you know, because they've written these books to help any condition, whether it's sickle cell, I don't know, fibroids. I'm just trying to think of things off the top of my head, but these books are out there to help you, guide you along your path. It's just there. There's help. Research, Google. This is the age of social media and the internet. Yeah, it's all out there.
So from lupus sufferer who thought her life was going to end to aspiring fitness trainer.
Yes.
Wonderful. It's a wonderful story.
Thank you.
Judith, of a triumph, not just over a physical condition like lupus, but a mental condition like depression
and anxiety.
And you're a testament that, you know, your past doesn't have to equal your future. And once you take your life into your own hands, are prepared to make a commitment to develop new healthy habits, that your life can change in a positive way.
Yes, 100%. I forgot the most important person who helped me along. As a footnote, Iyanla Van Zandt.
Okay.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Embrace that as well.
Fantastic. Well, Judith, I wish you continued good health in the management of your lupus. I wish you great success in your aspiring fitness, personal fitness training career, and I wish you long and good health. And thank you very much for taking the time to come and share your story, which I'm sure people listening will appreciate.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you very much.
The views being expressed in this video are not meant to offer medical advice. They are the views of the person being interviewed. Always seek medical advice from your doctor and base your treatment choices on informed decisions.